Okay, it's time to get the bridge glued on. Our Scout ukulele for Camp Westwind. We're getting close. I think we'll do an eBay auction pretty soon for this. Um, Gluing the bridge on, I've done this a million times, but it's always a little nerve-wracking. I'll start by taking off the piece of blue tape that we put on before to mask finish off. We don't want finish where the bridge is going to go. So this keeps a lot of it out of the way. And then we'll give a quick steel wool over the whole instrument for the last time. It's had 5 coats of finish. And even though I said that the armor seal isn't much of a film finish, it mainly soaks in, that's true, but there is a little bit of a built up finish on it, and you can feel it right here, the difference between the masked and not masked. And then I'm going to grab, I need the nut that comes with this instrument, and I need a saddle. So that'll assist in setting the bridge. So first off, I have a rule, a straight edge, that I've marked with the scale lengths. And this is a soprano scale, so I'm going to set this the way we have it done is I set the mark just at the front of the saddle, and I just roughly center it now. And now this is where we get more precise. This is measuring 30/2 of an inch, and it's the same on both sides, so I can check on both sides. And then at the end here, there's some markings that aren't intended to be used for measuring this way, but you can line things up according to these in order to do it. So Gordon taught me this trick. It works pretty good. So I'm going to start by measuring from the inside of the last fret to the front of the bridge, and I've got 14/32 on this side, and then over here it's 16, so I'm going to rotate the bridge just a little bit, so I've got 14 on both sides. So what this is doing is it's setting the bridge according to where the frets in the neck are set, so no matter what is going on with the rest of the instrument, this will play in tune. And so once that's set, I'm going to carefully check my scale length, make sure that that's right. Yeah, that's going to be fine. And at the same time now, I'm going to measure where the bridge goes in this direction by looking where gosh, it's hard to explain. See, there's a break right here in the bridge design where it scoops out. There's a break line right there. I'm going to set that break line on each side according to these dots right here to make sure the bridge is even left and right. So that's like halfway between those two dots and 14. Let's check this side. That's at the second dot and 14. So I need to scoot it over just a touch. Oh, let's get that setting in. Scoot it over so it's just inside the second dot. Just inside the second dot. 14/32. A little over 14/32. Let's rotate. There we go. I'll go back and check again. 14, just inside the second dot. 14, just inside the second dot. Okay, so we have used jigs and things to set bridges that should be more accurate, but this way works really good. And then also, it's because you don't want to just glue the bridge on where you think it should be on the body. You need to glue it on according to where your neck sends the bridge. So even if the bridge ends up asymmetrically placed on the body, you're still going to go along with where the neck tells you to go. And yeah, in the future you'd rather everything was just perfect, but it'll work. So now I'm going to just triple check my scale length is right, and now I'm going to do one more check that I really don't have to do, but I still do it a lot. I imagine the straight edge is a string, and I'm going to set where it goes up here, and then I'm going to lay it right on top of one of the holes where the strings get tied, and just look where it travels down. And then I'm going to do the same on this side, and just look where it travels down, and yeah, it would be, both strings would ride how we like it down there. Okay, so this is just normal blue tape. These are pieces of blue tape that have been cut with a die especially to fit the back of the bridge. So we ordered a ton of these when I still worked at Miyamoe. We recently ran out, and I called Carrie from Miyamoe, and we ordered another box. So we have a lifetime of masking off this curve behind the bridge. Pieces of tape. Okay. And now, press that down real good. So you see that there's still some finish inside the masked off area. So that's what I'm going to now scrape a little and sand a little to get that off, so I have better gluing surface. It's a lot faster. I mean, this is a lot faster scraping this off than it would be if I had to scrape a whole bridge surface, like if I hadn't masked off at all. This just takes a moment to get rid of that last bit. And the blue tape helps me stay in the line, so I like doing it at this stage. And then I'm going to grab some 320 sandpaper, and I'm going to scuff, trying to get the last of the finish off, but I'm definitely just kind of scuffing it up to the top. Make sure we have a good glue surface. Okay, now let's get to it. It's going to sit. And now the blue tape is a ridge, and it does stop the bridge from sliding too much, which is nice. Now I'm going to get a corner of paper towel, spray it with water, get a new Q-tip. This is a straw where we cut this at an angle. I need to trim mine. You'll see it, and this is for cleaning out glue squeeze out. You'll see me do that in a minute. I have my clamps, we're ready to go. Doesn't take much glue, and in fact a lot of it's going to squeeze out. But we want even coverage. Put the bridge in place. Special caul. It's got a hard foam on it. These are not my favorite bridge clamps, but my normal sized ones are too big for this job. It's because the design of this scout body is so close on. They're so close to the sound hole for the bridge that I kind of have to use these. So I think these are clamps sold like for violin repairs or something. Not my favorite clamps, but they work. I normally don't have to use so many clamps when I use my other ones, but with these they don't have as much clamping pressure as my other ones, so I use all 5 clamps. And before you start pushing too much, you want to make sure it's where it's supposed to be. Starting to get squeezed out. Now I take the cut-off straw, it's got a sharp point, and I can go around and start digging out the squeeze out. See how it scoops it? I wonder if it'll focus on that. Probably not. Scoop. Okay, so now that the squeeze out's out of the way, I can tell that the bridge is still where it's supposed to be. Sometimes if you're not careful, it'll skate around and you don't notice until the squeeze out's out of the way. So I'll clamp it down a little harder. There's a little more squeeze out. Okay, now I take the scrap of paper towel that I sprayed with the water bottle, give it a wipe. And then use one side of the Q-tip to really clean it off. That really gets a lot of the glue residue off. Now I'm going to carefully pull the tape. So every once in a while a piece of tape is stuck under the bridge, which is a problem. Today, that didn't happen. And now I'll take the dry side of the Q-tip, give it another wipe, and we'll hang it up overnight.